Welcome to Ports and Palaces. It is September 2nd, and today we're going to be talking about all the fun to be found at Disneyland Resort this Halloween season.
Good morning. Happy September 2nd. Happy September. It's currently raining here, so definitely out of, hopefully, the summer season. Last week, we talked about all the Oogie Boogie tips, but unfortunately, that event is now sold out. So if you've got tickets, please make sure to listen to our wonderful tips. But if you are not able to get tickets, that's okay. The good news is that there is so much at Halloween at Disneyland for all guests.
Yeah, I agree. There's really not a whole lot of Halloween festivities outside of Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party at Disney World. There is at Disneyland, however.
Yeah, Disneyland does it all out for holidays. I feel like both Halloween and then like the holiday time, like Christmas time. Disney World's trying, though. We were going to do a whole episode about things for Halloween at Disney World and realized outside of like Food and Wine Festival, there's not much. But Jock Lindsay's Hanger Bar is going to have a Halloween Hanger Bar this year, which does look really cool. They usually do something for Christmas, but it's nice to see them also getting into the Halloween spirit. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. We will not be in Orlando for that to see that in person, but we're definitely going to be looking at that from a far away view and kind of see how cool that is. Maybe we'll check it out next year. That's enough about Disney World. Let's head back over to Disneyland and let's start by talking about the Halloween entertainment. So over in Disney's California Adventure, there is a trick or treat show. This is in the Disney Theater that usually has the Clubhouse show, but it is turned into a trick or treat show during Halloween. And then at Disneyland, you've also got the Halloween Screams fireworks show, which is really fun. Zero flies around, like a little puppet of him flies around, which is really fun. And then you've also got a very short, very easy to miss Halloween cavalcade that is pretty much the characters just walking by with the band playing some music and they kind of wave to you. So very short cavalcade, but cute if you can make it.
My favorite part is meeting up with some of the characters. At Disneyland, the Super Six will be there in Halloween. So if you don't know, the Super Six are Mickey, Minnie, Daisy, Donald, Goofy, and Pluto.
Yeah, you usually hear people say the Fab Five, which is Mickey, Minnie, Daisy, Goofy, and Pluto. But then everyone always forgets about Daisy, which makes us really, really sad in our house. So we like to call it the Super Six instead.
So Jack and Sally are also there in New Orleans Square. It's really cool to meet up with them. The lines are long all the time. So if that's a must do, try to get there as early as you can in the day.
Yeah, and some tips on that. So sometimes Jack meets by himself and sometimes Jack and Sally meet together. So just know that you kind of are taking a gamble on who you're going to see. Also, we've mentioned this before, but characters at Disneyland are not as set in their times as Disney World. And so when we went to try to see Jack and Sally when we were at Disneyland last time, we got to the little line 15 minutes before it said that Jack and Sally were going to start meeting, which is usually our strategy to kind of beat the line. And there was already a humongous line and they had already started meeting for like an hour. So just know if you're really wanting to see them, go like rope drop it because they can just kind of show up whenever they feel like it. So that's something to keep in mind with them. You've also got Miguel over by Rancho del Zocalo. Now, he's typically over there. He's not listed anywhere in Disney's promotional materials, but he's almost always over there meeting guests over by Rancho del Zocalo. And then other characters that you can find roaming around Disneyland are usually Captain Hook, Gaston, Maleficent, Cruella de Vil, Lady Tremaine and her stepdaughters, Anastasia and Drizella. And then usually like the Evil Queen is over there, things like that. So it's kind of a gamble. They either meet in Fantasyland or sometimes you can actually meet them like in Town Square, like in the main first part when you enter Disneyland.
Gorilla is really cool. You don't see her very often. So out front of Disney California Adventure, you have a statue of the Headless Horseman. It's a really cool photo op, especially at night. It's really cool. Then you have the regulars, Mickey Mouse. He's dressed up as a magician. Minnie Mouse dressed as a flapper. Donald Duck dressed in a devil outfit. Daisy Duck dressed as a witch. And Goofy dressed as a scarecrow. That's perfect for him.
And they left out Pluto. They always leave out somebody. It just makes me sad.
It's always a rotation of the 6, but they always leave out one of them. Over at Radiator Screams, we've got Lightning McQueen, Tow Mater, and Red the Fire Truck in their best creative car-stumes.
Yes. Speaking of Radiator Screams, so Radiator Springs converts itself to Radiator Screams for the Halloween season. There's tons of themed food, which we will talk about here later in the podcast. There's always spooky lights on Radiator Racers Mountain, so they kind of turn purple and green, which are really cool to see at night. They also put decals, but they put them on the cones to make them look like spooky cones, which is really cool. They have their costumes that they dress up in, like Chad said. And then if you haven't ever been at Cars Land, Radiator Springs at night when it kind of turns to dusk, they always do the shaboom, kind of like they do at the movies where they do Life Could Be Dream and all the neon kind of lights turn on. Well, during Halloween, they still do shaboom, but they do spooky music. So it's usually I Put a Spell on You, but they do sometimes change it up with their music. So that is something really, really cool if you can be there around dusk to check that out. And also, we talked about this in the Oogie Boogie episode, but there are 2 Halloween-themed rides in Radiator Screams. One is Mater's Jamboree, which is the same ride as it always is, but they change up the music. And then you've got Luigi's Honkin' Halloween. And Hall is Haul, so Halloween. And it's basically like a teacups ride, but they've got fun music to it.
In the other sections of the park, you have Monsters After Dark, which is formerly Tower of Terror, which is now Guardians of the Galaxy. They fight like a fiery behemoth, which is pretty cool. Less spooky, more intense and thrilling. Then you have the Haunted Mansion Holiday, which is really cool. It has all of the characters of Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah, it's just a really, really cool ride with all the characters.
Yeah. And this will actually continue through the holiday season as well. So they turn this over in August to become Haunted Mansion Holiday. And then it doesn't kind of go back down to become Haunted Mansion again until January. So just know if you're going anytime between now and, early January, you're going to be seeing Haunted Mansion Holiday. We actually got stuck on this ride, which was really cool.
Yeah.
We got good footage of Oogie Boogie right at the end because we were stuck there for felt like a long time. It was probably just a minute or 2, but it was kind of cool.
I do kind of think, though, that the characters are just covers over the existing characters because Oogie Boogie moved around really, really harshly. Like, it looked like he was, I don't know, an animatronic from like 100 years ago.
Maybe.
Or something like that.
And then something that's also really cool they do in here is they make like a gingerbread house that's in I'm going to butcher what it is, but like the dining room scene where all the ghosts are dancing, they put like this humongous gingerbread. I don't want to call it a house. It's just like a scene. And every year it's something different. So that's really cool. And something for locals who get to go quite a bit. They get something new to see each time. So something very cool.
As far as activities in the park, that you can do Pluto's Pumpkin Pursuit. This is in downtown Disney. You have a choice of 5 different Disney character-themed cornhole games as your prize. You do have to buy a map, and you do have to match all of the stickers to all of locations where you find the map items. And then once you win, you can go check out your prize. Like I said, there's 5 different choices to choose from. So yeah, it's fun for the whole family.
Yeah, and you don't have to finish all of them. So if, you have a family and you don't get it done, they usually, when you buy the map, will go ahead and just have you pick up your prize at the same time. So that's usually what we do when we do little scavenger hunts like that. We just go ahead and pick up our prize. Basically, you're paying for the prize right then and there anyway, so they just go ahead and give it to you. But it is more fun to find all of them. a little tip for that. Look up. They're always up on something, like on top of a building or hidden in trees. So look up. Another big draw to Disneyland for Halloween is that they do a Dia de los Muertos kind of honoring over in Paradise Gardens Park, and they call it Plaza de la Familia. They really hone in on Coco here. So they do like a Coco show. Gail has a little puppet that does a photo op. I hate to even call it a character meet and greet, but you do stand in a line to take a picture with the puppet, and someone is like manipulating the puppet, but I don't know if I'd call it a character photo, but that is really cool. And then something that is over there that is really good is all the food. We actually went here about 10:30 a.m. last year when we went. So it's open very early, but they have this really cool cake that has like cinnamon and then chocolate pieces on top of it. And then their carnitas tacos are really, really good. This year they have like a loaded quesadilla that looks pretty good as well, but just overall really good food. And then in Coco Spirit, this can actually be found through all of Disneyland Resort, but they have a Dante, the dog in Coco. He's got a popcorn bucket that's really cool. I wish we were going just to get that popcorn bucket. That's a really cool popcorn bucket. It is not only in Paradise Gardens, but it is something themed to Coco, so we wanted to mention it here. And now we're going to get into food. So there is a ton of food. Like I said, Disneyland really leans into Halloween. They do a ton of food. So we're just going to hit the highlights and things that we would try or we have tried or have been very popular and keep returning. There is a full foodie guide you can find online. If you look up Disney Parks blog, it's the whole thing, but we're just going to go through some highlights and something that you should try.
If you are looking for character dining, you have Goofy's Kitchen, a Halloween edition.
We did this last year. We weren't super impressed.
Yeah.
You're paying for the characters. It kind of tasted like food that I probably could have gotten at Walmart, like
right.
Pastry wise. They do have this fancy like peanut butter and jelly pizza that everyone loves. We just weren't feeling up for that. But
I think we were sick too, so that added to it.
We did go at the end of our trip. We were kind of done. We were ready to go home. But yeah, not super impressed. We probably won't go again. We did that for like brunch.
This is buffet style. All the characters come through, namely Goofy. We saw Mickey and Minnie. We saw Donald as well. And then we saw Chip and Dale come through. Mm-hmm. If you are staying over at the Grand Californian, I recommend the Storytellers Cafe. And
they have Mickey's Autumn Adventures breakfast, and they also have Clarabelle's Enchanted Halloween dinner. So they have 2 character options over at Storytellers Cafe. Alrighty, so some things around the park that you want to check out. So there is a strawberry horchata churro by Senor Buzz Churros. This is over by Goofy's Sky School in Disney's California Adventure. It looks very good. It's like a classic churro, but it's got that cinnamon sugar, but then that horchata kind of spices it up. It looks pretty good. In Disneyland Park over in Galactic Grill, they're really stepping up their game. They've got Darth by Chocolate, which they usually have every year, that has this cute little, but they also have a bloody orange slushie that looks really good. It's got a raspberry drizzle, and then they've got a iced pumpkin pie chai latte, which I've had. It's very good. So if you like chai, that is a very good one. It reminds me a lot of the like pumpkin cold foam whatever at Starbucks with the chai. Over at Harbor Galley, I would definitely get the pumpkin cookies with the cream cheese dip. That is delicious. I get that every time we go. And then Hungry Bear Barbecue Jamboree is joining the fun. They're going to have the cherry cobbler funnel cake fries. It says new, but I know I've seen Hungry Bear Barbecue Jamboree have funnel cake fries. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what exactly is making that new, but it's saying it's new.
Toppings, maybe?
Yeah, maybe they switched strawberry to cherry. I don't know, but almost 100% confident that I've seen funnel cake fries at Hungry Bear Barbecue Jamboree before. So they've also got a mint chip cold brew, which sounds right up Chad's alley.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, so it's mint chip ice cream kind of in the bottom, and then they pour cold brew coffee over it and put some like foam and chocolate chips on top. So that looks delicious. Mm-hmm. Jolly Holiday is always part of the fun, and they have included themselves here as well. I would definitely look at the Jack-o'-lantern Mickey pumpkin macaron. We had that last year and it was really good. They have a cute Mickey bat cookie. I'm sure it tastes good, but you're definitely there for Instagram on that one. The pumpkin muffin is very good. And then the Joffrey's pumpkin cold cold brew is very good as well. It is not as like creamed up. Does that make sense? It is a standard cold brew. So if you're someone who likes what I call frou-frouing it up, like a lot of milk, a lot of sweetness to it, this is just a pumpkin cold brew, and it's got some vanilla foam on top. So you really have to stir it to kind of get some sweetness in there. Mint Julep Bar also has their themed beignets. So they are pumpkin spiced flavored. We had these last year, didn't we? Or did we just get the regular beignets? I cannot remember right now.
Yeah, we got these.
We got these? Okay. Clearly we weren't super impressed, but these are pretty standard. And they do come with a caramel dipping sauce, but this year it says coffee caramel dipping sauce. I am almost 100% sure that's new. It doesn't say new. We would not have gotten something that was coffee flavored. So I don't know. And then they've got the cranberry pomegranate mint julep, which is not new and is also very delicious. We enjoyed that quite a bit. Plaza Inn always has a themed cake for the season, and that is no exception here. They have the poison apple cake. This is the one they typically have for the Halloween season. It's red cinnamon cake with cream cheese and caramelized apple filling, finished with red cream cheese, buttercream frosting, and a green ganache. So it definitely looks like that poison apple that Snow White has. Looks pretty good. Rancho del Zocalo usually always has some really good food. We really like the Mickey-shaped pumpkin salted dulce cream puff. It is huge. If you look at it on just a picture, it doesn't look very big. We could not finish it. So all three of us, we could not finish it. So just know it is very big, and it's filled to the brim with that dulce cream. So it's very delicious, but just be prepared to share. Red Rose Tavern has the enchanted pumpkin stuff. I'm just going to say this always irritates me because we sometimes always end up going during the Halloween season or have clients going through the Halloween season, and they always talk about the gray stuff. They want the gray stuff. And for now, 2 or 3 years now, Disneyland has turned it into the pumpkin stuff during Halloween, and they have no gray stuff. You can't also get that on the menu. It just turns into the pumpkin stuff, it's kind of frustrating because everyone wants to get the gray stuff at Red Rose Tavern, which is themed after Beauty and the Beast. So that's just my little frustration there.
What does the gray stuff taste like?
Great. I think it's just vanilla pudding and some like icing or cream cheese and Oreo cookies.
Got it.
And you can get it at Disney World in Be Our Guest, and they've got some other places you can get it. But at Disneyland, this is where you get it, and they just, from August to November, it disappears. So it's kind of frustrating, but maybe other people don't care as much. They keep bringing it back, so they clearly are selling it. They also have a pumpkin cheesecake cold brew that I love. You can tell I really enjoyed the cold brew. I feel like last time we went, I told my family, I said, I'm just going to drink every cold brew that's here, so just prepare yourself, because I think I really did. So really liked the pumpkin cheesecake cold brew. Riverbell Terrace has their pumpkin spice pancakes that are returning that are very good. We really like going there and getting that. It's a nice little place to go and eat. Royal Street Veranda is my favorite place for just eating in general. They have this Monte Cristo sandwich that's like a breakfast sandwich, which is not for Halloween, but it's still one of my favorites. So I'm still going to tell you about it because you need to go get one. But for Halloween, they do coffee fritters. Those were delicious. We ended up getting 2 orders of those. It only comes with 3, so we all wanted 2, and there's 3 of us. So, and then they also have a pumpkin cream brulee cold brew that has this cute little Jack Skellington like chocolate piece that they put on top. It was probably my favorite cold brew of the entire trip when we went last year. So just know that that's over in Royal Street Veranda, which is kind of in the New Orleans Square area. The churros were interesting to me. I always like the Maleficent churro that has the peanut butter dipping sauce. And that is not, it's usually kind of over by Sleeping Beauty Castle. And it's not there. They replaced it with a blue lemon dipping sauce with a citrus churro, which sounds awful.
Lemon cake. I like lemon cake.
Sure. So that made me really sad. They did put a chocolate churro and peanut butter dipping sauce near Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters. But that's not the Oreo one, like the Maleficent one. So that kind of makes me sad. And then they usually always have the bride and groom churro over by Haunted Mansion. And that one's usually my favorite as well. And this year, the one over by Haunted Mansion is the strawberry filled churro rolled in chocolate cookie dust and drizzled with cream cheese sauce topped with the chocolate bat. they're calling it the Straw Batty Churro. So both of my Halloween favorites looks like are not back, which makes me really sad. Looking at California Adventure Park, Aunt Cass Cafe has the chicken pot pie soup. They always usually have a soup, but this one is chicken pot pie. It looks really good. Mm-hmm. And then they also have a vampire Mickey shaped sourdough bread over there. So if you're just wanting a little snack, that looks really good. The cinnamon apple cold brew. This says it's new, but I know I had something very similar last year. And I was not impressed. So
I liked it a lot.
Okay, Chad liked it. But it is also saying it's new. So I'm not quite sure what's new about it. But I know we went over there because it's over there by the Burrito Tacos over in San Francisco Square. And I know we got that and I did not like it. So not sure what's new about it. Award Wieners has something that we probably will not eat. It's coming out as very good. It's got lots of rave reviews on social media. It's the Pambazo Torta. I'm just going to go ahead and read it. It's guajillo dipped toasted roll stuffed with a hot dog, chorizo con papas, lettuce, cotija?
Never heard of it.
Something cheese. I've seen this cheese, but I'm butchering the name. Pickled onions, salsa verde, and a pickled jalapeno served with cuties, mandarin oranges, or film stir fries. It looks really good. It's way too spicy for us, but people have said it's really good. At Boardwalk Pizza and Pasta, again, we're still over there in DCA. They've got a spicy pasta pizza that looks really good. And then over there in DCA, kind of by the Wheel of Death, as I call it, Chad told me, was like, we don't call it the Wheel of Death. Only you call it the Wheel of Death because I'm afraid of heights and Chad is not. So just going back to that episode, he does not call it the Wheel of Death. But over kind of in that same area, there is the Cappuccino Cart, and they have brought back that peanut butter mocha cold brew that I loved last year. So I'm very excited to see that back.
So this was a staple that I really enjoyed. It was the Two Towns Cider House Hollow Jack pumpkin cider. Very much a mouthful to say, but it was absolutely amazing. If you're into hard cider like I am, it was very crisp, just like any other apple cider, but the pumpkin flavoring added a really good kick to it.
This was over at Lamplight Lounge last year, and it is at the Hollywood Lounge this year. So that is new. So if you liked it at Lamplight Lounge last year, it has moved locations over to the Hollywood Lounge. At Lucky Fortune Cookery, there is a seasonal Baymax macaron that looks like it is going to dye your entire face red and purple. Or blue, whatever that is. But it's filled with ube cream and salted caramel chocolate crunch pearls. We will be skipping that, but it does look cute for Instagram.
I'm sure our daughter's going to ask for it, though.
Mm-hmm. And then we talked briefly about the Radiator Screams area and how they always have themed food. So I'm just going to quickly go through some highlights over at that area. They have this little, they're like kiosks, but they're called Cozy Cones, and they have numbers. So at Cozy Cone Motel 1 are churros. I would definitely stop in for the pumpkin pie churro. They've also got a pumpkin cream brulee cold brew, which is exactly what they do over at Royal Street Veranda that I like. So if you're not getting over to Disneyland, but you're only doing DCA, that's where you can find that same cold brew.
Carbon copy.
Then Cozy Cone Motel 2 is ice cream cones. This is where you saw that ube ice cream everywhere on social media last year. It is back. And then you've got Cozy Cone Motel number 2 that's serving ice cream cones. They are really leaning into the ube just like they did last year. So you've got the Mater Halloween cone that's ube served with black sprinkles in a cup or a cone, or you can do an ube vanilla twist. So that's both vanilla and ube together with the same black sprinkles. So same thing, just depending on if you want vanilla. Then you've got Cozy Cone Motel 3, which is doing chili cone queso. So you see this a lot, especially I think everyone wants to say the Epic Universe did the mac and cheese cones first, but Disneyland did. So they always do some sort of mac and cheese cone here at Cone 3. And it's slow burning mac and cheese cone this time. So mac and cheese with spicy red pepper cheese sauce served in a bread cone and topped with crushed chili cheese puffs. That sounds like fiery hot Cheetos, but... And then Cozy Cone Motel 4 is your frozen cone concoctions, and serving here is going to be the pumpkin vanilla cream ale, which sounds kind of good. Then you've got your outdoor vending locations. This kind of made me sad. So last year at the vending locations, they did this cream cheese bread that was delicious.
It was.
And instead of just bringing that back, they had to change it. So now you get 2 different options. So you can either do a jalapeno cream cheese bread. So they took the same bread and put some, looks like sesame seeds on top of it and some jalapenos. Or you can do the pumpkin spice cream cheese bread. So then they took the same bread and put some pumpkin and made it a little too sweet. So kind of disappointing, but it's okay. And then the thing every kid's going to ask for, the Oogie Boogie chocolate chip cookie. It looks like a chocolate chip cookie shaped like Oogie Boogie, but it's got a bunch of green icing and it looks like Oogie Boogie on top. So cute, but a lot of sugar. Schmoozies always has the fun shakes, and they've also really turned themselves into like the specialty Mickey waffles place.
Yeah.
Which I'm here for. So they're doing Ursula Enchanted waffles, which are dark chocolate Mickey shaped waffles filled with ube custard and dusted with powdered sugar. They really, really like ube.
That sounds really good, actually.
And then they've got the Evil Queen apple shake that looks really good, the Mickey mummy shake, and then some ciders there as well. So looks pretty good over there. Smoke Jumpers Grill has a ton of things. I just want to hit on the one that's returning that most people liked last year, and it's the Oogie Boogie Lemonade. It's green apple Minute Maid lemonade with cherry flavored popping spheres, so like boba, and raspberry sauce. So that's over there at Smoke Jumpers, and that will be very popular. Studio Catering Company is also leaning into the Oogie Boogie as well with an Oogie Boogie burrito, which looks pretty good. Carne asada, French fries, spicy blue tortilla chips, pico de gallo, guacamole, and crema. That sounds good. I would get that.
You lost me at pico de gallo.
I know.
Everything else looked good, though.
I love a good spice. Chad does not. Over by Redwood Creek Challenge Trail, you're going to want to get the peanut butter marshmallow churro. If you have been around for a while and you like the fluffer nutter, this looks very, very similar. So it's a classic churro with peanut butter sauce, marshmallow sauce, and chocolate chips. We are going to go ahead and skip Downtown Disney. There is a ton at Downtown Disney, but it's all things that have been returning or things that require some sort of reservation. So it's like a specialty item inside a restaurant. So we're going to go ahead and skip all those. Like I said, we're going through some highlights, and you can find the full guide on Disney Parks blog. I did want to look at the Grand Californian. They always do something themed to the season. They have, something hugely decorated in their lobby, and then they always have some really cool, fun treats. And this is no exception. They have some really cute cookies in the Grand Californian Great Hall cart. They have a gooey peanut butter chocolate cookie that has like gummy worms on top. They have a gingerbread skeleton cookie that looks really cute. So it's Mickey, but he almost looks kind of like they tried to turn him into Jack Skellington at the same time. Mm-hmm. And then they have a Halloween berry jam Linzer cookie that wasn't pictured, but it sounds delicious. I love a good Linzer cookie. I actually have some clients going to the Grand Californian for this Halloween season, so maybe I can bribe them to bring me back a cookie that looks pretty good. And then you've got your standard Halloween candy. So at most of your candy stops. So you can find it over in Bing Bong Sweet Stuff or Charlie Treats, or there's one over in Disneyland that is completely slipping my brain. It's over kind of by Jolly Holiday. I cannot think of it, but there's those candy spots. You're going to find all of these little cake pops. They've got a cute one that looks like Donald as a vampire, which is adorable. They've got like a bat one, a Mickey bat, or a Mickey ghost. They've got your poison apple. So the caramel apple looks like the poison apple. So very cute things. You can find those in most of the candy places. And then in true Disney fashion, you have your popcorn buckets and your sippers. And one thing I really like that Disneyland does is they have straw. I'm not going to call them straw clips because they have straw clips, but they're these things that you can actually screw onto your water bottle lids. And so they turn them into straws. Chad's looking at me like I'm crazy, but so it turns like a bottle into a straw cup, which is really cool. This year they have one that looks like Winky Blinky, which is the big Mickey pumpkin right at the front of the park, which is really cool. So you could screw that onto a water bottle and make that kind of a straw-based cup. They've got a Pluto dressed as like a skeleton little popcorn bucket. They've got the Sanderson sisters as a straw clip. Jack Skellington popcorn bucket, which I've seen like crazy since it started. Zero straw. Over in DCA, they're kind of paying tribute to the cones as they decorate them to look like kind of spooky cones.
You've got a villain popcorn bucket too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. And then another, I think it's villain little cup too, which is fun. And then they've got the cutest little Mickey ghost popcorn bucket that's adorable. And then something that I was so excited to see, last year they had the Cusco's poison. It was like a glow cube, which was cute. But this year they've turned it into a full-blown cup with a straw. And it looks so cute. I might have to reward some eBay scalper and get that for us because that is adorable. I love it so much. I also really like that they put a strap on it so you can just carry it around. I like that a lot. But that is all the Disneyland Halloween that you could find, as well as all the merchandise, things like that. We hope you found this to be informative and fun and got some good tips out of it.
And hopefully if you go when one of the, special Halloween parties isn't happening, you know that there's plenty of other Halloween stuff to do.
And if you enjoyed this podcast, please make sure to like, share with your friends, subscribe, leave us a comment and review. It helps our show grow and reach more people, as well as connect with viewers and listeners like you. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube.
Until next time, I am Chad.
And I'm Kirsten. Happy travels from all your ports to palaces.
This podcast is sponsored by Ports and Palaces Vacations. Whether you are wanting to check out a new port along a cruise line or see the palaces of Disney and Universal, our travel advisors make your dream trip a reality. Your next trip is just a click away.